2015 alone came from Sting. The matches with Triple H and Seth Rollins. How Sting returned in 2014 in the lateral part of the year to help John Cena and Randy Orton. I mean, how can you not remember how Sting returned to help them? And obviously Randy Orton and John Cena are going to describe that for many years to come as a career-defining moment for them, standing across the ring from someone like Sting. Also, John Cena had a chance to work with Sting in a tag team match. Remember how they took on Seth Rollins and Big Show prior to the Night of Champions pay-per-view when they were both the number one contenders for two of Seth Rollins' championships? I remember that, and obviously John Cena does as well. It was the one match Sting had on Raw for the first time ever. They won the match after Sting had to previously fight the Big Show for the first time in years, reflecting back on their matches in World Championship Wrestling. Another name that Sting had the chance to create with an entry into this year's Royal Rumble match, which is what I was hoping to see for Sting this year, but obviously we're not going to see that because, again, the highlight for Sting this year is going into the Hall of Fame. But social media blowing up with conversation, guys. So many people can't believe this, much like myself. Sting going into the Hall of Fame. My hat's off to all of you guys. I have to applaud you for talking about Sting being inducted into the Hall of Fame as much as what you had, because this is absolutely unbelievable, the amount of support that Sting has received so early off this announcement that he's going into the Hall of Fame. Millions, if not billions, of wrestling fans hashtagging it, tweeting about it on Twitter, posting videos and photos of this on their Facebook fan pages, Instagramming about it. Instagram is one of the sites more especially that have blown up along with Twitter about support of how Sting is going into the Hall of Fame. And I think this Hall of Fame induction ceremony the night before WrestleMania 32 of 2016 is going to be the most watched WWE Hall of Fame ceremony in history. We've seen people like Bret Hart, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Hulk Hogan, all deservingly going into the Hall of Fame, Stone Cold Steve Austin. But we have never seen Sting, an inductee of this likes, going into the Hall of Fame. Even legends like the $1 Million Man, Jake the Snake Roberts, Cowboy Bob Orton. They've all taken their rightful places in the Hall of Fame, but we have never seen a Hall of Fame induction ceremony the night before an event like WrestleMania highlighted by the induction of someone like Sting. So I wonder what he's going to say in his acceptance speech of going into the Hall of Fame. I wonder who he's going to thank, because he's never worked with any of WWE's new names. He's never worked with any of the names that we remember, of course, from WWE. He never had a chance to work with in the early thousands. He remembers working with names like Ric Flair in World Championship Wrestling for all the years back in the 90s, and the lateral part of the 90s like Hulk Hogan, who obviously has no relationship anymore with WWE, but he has never had a chance really to create with any of the newer names in WWE, with the exception of a few like Seth Rollins and Randy Orton and John Cena, Triple H. So I think there's going to be a lot of eyes and ears on what Sting is going to say as part of his acceptance speech, mine included, because I'm really looking forward to seeing how Sting is going to handle all this. Obviously, he's going to be overcome with emotion. I know he said in the promo on Raw last Monday that he was really excited about this. This was happening for all of his little Stingers. And apparently, from what people are telling me, Sting has alluded that he is done now because he's being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Is this playing off his neck injury? Is this playing off of how he lost to Triple H and Seth Rollins? Is obviously why he came back to lose the one or two matches he had signed on to have throughout 2014, 2015 to go into the Hall of Fame? That's what a lot of people are wondering. But even though Sting is going into the Hall of Fame, I'm going to still stand by what I said. We have not seen the last of Sting wrestling. How about this? Sting gets inducted into the Hall of Fame, and The Undertaker has some sort of a problem with Sting going into the Hall of Fame. So he challenges Sting as a result of his Hall of Fame induction to one final match, which could retire both of their legends after 25 plus years of The Undertaker, 25 plus years of Sting, a total of over 50 plus years of wrestling experience in one match, and great psychology, not to forget about that, and how fans were chanting Undertaker when they were thinking about Sting's next opponent and what the future had in store for him post WrestleMania 31 last year. There are so many fingers pointing us in the direction of Sting versus The Undertaker, and Sting's Hall of Fame induction could be what The Undertaker has an issue with, Sting going in the Hall of Fame before The Undertaker, because The Undertaker hasn't officially retired, although it's been considered for years he's retired with the one match that he has. And hey, if The Undertaker's retired and still having one match every year, Sting can be retired and have as many matches as he wants every year, in my opinion, because if you ask me, Sting is in just as good condition, if not better, than The Undertaker. So there still is just as much a chance of this happening as we had last year of Sting versus The Undertaker, and it could still happen. I am still a firm believer in one day seeing Sting versus The Undertaker, even if it is for another wrestling company, which it probably will not happen for. It'll probably happen for WWE before it ever happens for another major wrestling promotion. But regardless of how this comes into fruition, Sting versus The Undertaker is a match that must happen. It's a dream match that wrestling fans have wanted to see for years, and we can't have a collection of dream matches without having The Undertaker versus Sting included in there. And I also think the possibility of Sting still creating with the newer names like Sheamus and Rusev and Del Rio and Kalisto, all these names, no matter who you're talking about, still is up in the air, because Sting could be one of those few wrestlers like Hulk Hogan who still keeps wrestling and performing after being inducted into a Hall of Fame like the WWE Hall of Fame since 1993, housing over less than 100 names. The first inductee into the Hall of Fame was Andre the Giant. So I think that there's a lot that goes with someone like Sting, and you can keep talking about him for time and time again over the years. This has been talked about. Would Sting ever go in to the WWE Hall of Fame, after having done virtually nothing for WWE? Is he even deserving of going into the Hall of Fame? And I wonder, behind the scenes, what people like Triple H, Stephanie, Vince, John Laurinaitis, every member of the WWE Board of Directors, how they really feel about putting Sting in the Hall of Fame, especially with how he did minimal for WWE and just signed a Legends contract. Here's your Legends contract, here's a Hall of Fame induction and a WWE Championship match so early in your run with the company. They never did that for Goldberg. They never did that for Booker T. They never did that for Adam, Brian Clarke, and Chronic. They never did that for anybody in WWE when they first came over from World Championship Wrestling, and now they're doing it for Sting. Obviously, it has something to do with Sting's legacy. Sting's legacy is never going to be forgotten, and it never will be forgotten by wrestling fans because of everything that he did. And I can't say that I blame wrestling fans for feeling the way they have about Sting, especially with all that frustration that I had so early throughout 2015 when I realized, oh fuck, Sting had lost to Triple H, and then 6 months later he lost to Seth Rollins. So I was really frustrated over the fact that Sting had lost so many matches so early in his WWE career, because I thought that his first match at his very first WrestleMania, to be honest with you, he was going to win. He was going to pull a Rock. He was going to come back after so many years of being gone from the major wrestling promotions like World Championship Wrestling and just redeem himself. The Crow was going to survive, find a way somehow just to keep winning all the time and eventually get to that pinnacle where he'd be WWE Champion. But because of the animosity that Vince has had for World Championship Wrestling along with Triple H, no, you had to lose to Triple H, which is why I don't blame Sting for tearing up his contract almost in the face of the McMahons just hours before WrestleMania because he didn't want to lose. I mean, if you're Sting, you've done everything in your wrestling career. So you get to this point where you're performing on the biggest stage that you can possibly perform on in your life just to lose to fucking Triple H. It's different if you're going out there and losing to Hulk Hogan or you're losing to Shawn Michaels, because Shawn Michaels is a far better performer than Triple H always was and always will be. But you're losing to Triple H in your very first match in WWE. If you're Sting, you got to seriously be thinking about not signing with WWE after being approached like you've had for years. And why you posted that video in 2005 was primarily because of the way you felt about Vince McMahon and Triple H. Now all of a sudden you're signing a Legends deal just to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. No, there's something more to this for Sting, and I don't think we've seen the last of him. But despite how I feel, despite how many other fans feel about Sting's induction into the Hall of Fame, it is finally happening. Not to say that I'm against Sting going into the Hall of Fame. Don't take anything I've said out of context, because I am all for Sting being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Do I think that something more could have been done with Sting's character in WWE if this is the end of his illustrious career? So many people thought it was, obviously. It's just becoming a reality, and it's hard for a lot of people to accept. I think, yes, something more should have been done with Sting's character. I think he deserved a lot better than what he got, especially when the doctor stopped the match with Seth Rollins last September, and how Sting finished the match so professionally. One of the highlights of his WWE debut, in my opinion, and one of the best matches he had out of the 3 or 4 that he was featured in, and all the appearances that he made for WWE. I'm really excited to see more out of Sting. I think he deserved a lot better than what he got, but it is what it is. Sting is going in the WWE Hall of Fame as the very first inductee of the class of 2016. How do you feel about it? Let me know in the comments. Smash that like button. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Let me know what's up. Tweet me with a creative hashtag. Really appreciate those at Jonathan Clarke 1. Get in on the conversation on my Facebook page at HEW Entertainment over on Google Plus at the same, and let me know how you guys feel as a way of a reaction of Sting going into the WWE Hall of Fame. It is finally becoming a reality. It finally is happening. Sting is taking his rightful place amongst the gods, and I couldn't be happier and more thrilled over the announcement last Monday, a part of one of the best Raws, as part of hype for the Royal Rumble this year, along with Brock Lesnar coming back and doing everything that he did that I've seen in a very long time. Despite how people feel about this, it is finally happening, and it's been a long time coming, so I couldn't be happier about Sting's induction into the WWE Hall of Fame. Let me know what's up, guys, in the comments. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and get in on the conversation, and I will see you next week. Like what you hear? Tell us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.